up ahead. Probably won't catch him. Stoplight. I like the new shoes, that's for sure. So nice out this morning. This is so nice. Alright, so people ask me all the time, and by people ask me all the time, what I really mean is no one's ever asked me, but I'm sure they want to ask me, you know, they thought of it. Like, how in the world do you get into commuting? How do you do it? What do you need to do to commute by bike to work every day? And I got a few thoughts. And the first thought is, sounds really stupid, but you gotta just make your mind up. You just gotta say, I'm gonna do it. Because if you don't, you'll always come up with excuses as to why it's hard to do, because there's a lot of excuses. And it is hard, sometimes. But you gotta make sure that you wanna do it. You don't even have to have all the quote right stuff, because I think I've been on and off commuting for about 15 years, and the first year I did it was on a Walmart mountain bike, if you want to call it that, and I did it just to see if I would, so I could justify spending money on like a real bike, and with a little help from my wife making that decision, and it was good because I learned that I did like it and I wanted to do it. So yeah, so that's the first thing, is you got to decide you're going to do it, and then the decision is made. So then when you get up every morning, you don't have to decide, am I going to commute by bike today, barring a few circumstances which I'll talk about. But like, the decision's made. I'm commuting. That's what I'm going to do. And so that's number one, is man, I'm just gonna say too, this new Lamar Road surface is awesome. I love it. It's so smooth. All the potholes are gone. It's the greatest surface. I really like it. Excuse me. I'm a little out of breath today. Not really sure why that is. All right, second thing you got to think about when deciding to commute is be prepared. It takes a little preparation. Not only do you have to have your bike up and going and ready, I mean, it depends on like what time of year, but your bike may need lights. You at least need a tail light. I mean, come on, you need a blinky tail light. But you may need a headlight. You gotta kind of get things ready the night before, or even the week. Look and see what the weather's going to be like. So that brings me to one of the things I was talking about earlier. decision is to ride every day unless it meets like some criteria. And one of them for me is weather. You have to have your boundaries. Set those limits. And if you set them, then you don't have to make the decision in the morning. It's like, oh, this falls outside of my boundaries, so I'm not going to ride today. Or it's within my boundaries, so I'm going to ride. Even if I don't feel like it, I'm going to. Okay, downhill. It's going to be too loud, so I'll stop talking. Alright, so revisiting weather boundaries. I mean, obviously on a day like today, it's easy. It's like 75 degrees, no wind, sun shining. Pretty easy to make that decision. So I'll just give you, for instance, what my boundaries are. If it's 20 degrees Fahrenheit or less, then I won't ride. So that's 20 F. Or if it is, well, I don't really have a heat. I mean, it's never been too hot to ride. Just drink water. I'm talking about myself as far as too hot for me. I kind of like the heat. Okay, or if it's thunderstorming, rain I don't mind. Rain you just got to prepare for. Like I said, you got to be prepared for it. Rain's not bad. Thunderstorms on the other hand, I don't like riding when there's lightning bolts going on all around me. That's not fun. So yeah, and then extreme wind, which around here is not as frequent as where I used to live in Wichita, where extreme wind was, I mean, I'd still ride in that because it was always extreme wind. But here it's like 25 to 30 mile an hour wind. I probably will decide to not ride unless it's a tailwind to work and then the wind's shifting and I'm gonna have a tailwind home, in which case that's awesome. definitely do that. But yeah, so that's kind of my examples of some weather boundaries. You got to set them yourself. Know what you're comfortable with. Know what you don't want for sure. 20 degrees F is pretty cold. There was one morning this winter that it was 19, and I thought, it's 1 degree. I'll go. Not that big of a deal. It's 1. And let me tell you, I mean, it was cold. And so there's a reason why I set it at 20, because it's cold. But having said that, prepare. You have to have clothing for that. That is obviously a gloves and leg covering, face, ears, nose. You gotta have that stuff ready. Now here's where I feel like I differ from a lot of the true cyclists out there. Is I don't care if you're wearing Walmart stuff or if you buy really nice Rafa gear, whatever. It doesn't matter. Get on the bike. That's what matters. So who cares if you have the nicest gear? That goes for the bike too. Kind of like what I said earlier. Doesn't matter what your gear is. You can always buy new gear later if you don't like it. Or just ride what you have, wear what you have. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking because I'm going uphill. Whew. I wish he was going forward. I'd get in that draft. Okay, so to summarize kind of my first couple of points is make the decision to ride, which has already been made, which obviously, I mean, you make the decision. I'm gonna ride 2 days a week. I'm gonna ride 3 days a week. Every day. I don't know, every day, that's, you gotta be really committed, because then you're kind of saying whatever the weather, or you got doctor's appointments, whatever. But I try to shoot for 4 out of 5 days a week. I ride. Some days some weeks it's 5, some weeks it's 3, but I average about 4 days a week. And that's what I try to stick with. And then do it. So decision's made, now you just got to do it. And maybe in your boundaries you set up, depending on where you live, I'm gonna do the spring months or fall months, or I'm gonna do year round. I've chosen year round, so when it's cold, when it's hot, whatever, I'm gonna do it. Oh, another downhill. It's gonna get noisy. Alright, and then the second point was be prepared. So think about, and granted you're going to make some mistakes, especially if you've never commuted by bike before. You know, decide whether you're going to go backpack or panniers, whatever. You can change your mind if you don't like the way the backpack. I go backpack because I don't mind having a little sweaty back. But make those decisions up front as best as you can. So yeah, how am I gonna bring my clothes to work? Food, if you take food to work. What lights do I need on my bike? I should probably carry a tube and a flat repair kit. Learn how to change a flat tire because you're gonna puncture. That's definitely going to happen. At least, you know, hopefully not every day, but it's gonna happen. Make sure that your family knows your route in case, you know, something happens, they need to come get you. Know the distance. Oh, that was the other thing. Pre-drive your route. Oftentimes it's like, man, on Google Maps that looks like the best way to go, and then you drive it and realize, oh, it's a horrible route, it's too busy, or the roads are horrible, no smooth roads. So as best you can, pre-drive or pre-ride. So if you're taking bike paths or trails where you can't drive those routes, you know, get your bike out on a weekend and ride the route the best you can. Something that if you've seen any of my other videos, you'll see about my route is that to and from work I have a few significant hills that are steep. They're not long, they're just really steep, and I could go another route and avoid those if I wanted to. It adds a little bit of distance to the ride, but I like those hills. I like the challenge of hitting those, but I drove them before I rode them because I wanted to make sure that I'd be able to do it and kind of what I was going to be facing before I got there. So yeah, so that's another way to be prepared. Plan your route well. Weather, yeah, watch the weather, plan that ahead. Clothes accordingly, because you want to make sure that you're dressed. I'll spend another time on clothes and what I think about, you know, let's just be honest, what I think about, should you be all decked out in your spandex or cargo pants. I'll give you my thoughts on that. Basically, here's the nuts and bolts of it. Wear what you want to wear. So for me, even being prepared means making sure I have the right shoes. I don't like to wear my traditional road bike shoes because they're clumpy and hard to walk in. When I'm walking into work, it's kind of awkward, clickety clack. So I have a pair of mountain bike shoes, and I use Crank Brother egg beaters pedals, which may or may not mean anything to you, but it means that I can wear these mountain bike shoes. They're more like, they look like normal shoes. They don't click clack when I walk. Most people probably don't even know I have clipless pedals because they look like normal shoes. There's another thing though. Are you going to ride clipless? Are you going to ride flat? Geared bike, road bike, flat bar bike? There's a lot of decisions. Ride what you have. Okay, be prepared. What other things? Be prepared. Oh yeah, have a kit, have a repair kit, basic repair kit. I would suggest having phone number of your boss ready. More than once I've had to send a text message, going to be 5 minutes late, I had a flat tire, or whatever. You know. Oh, and that's another reason. Dang, I'm all over the place. Thought-wise here. Plan your route because you want to know how long it's going to take you. So my route takes around 30 to 32 minutes on average to ride. To drive takes about 15. So it's not that much difference, really. But I know what time I got to leave in the morning. So I got to get up appropriate time to make sure I'm ready to go. I've got all my stuff packed. I lay all my clothes out the night before, so I'm ready. I don't have to scramble in the morning, wonder if I got everything. Just takes a little thought, not a lot, but a little. So yeah, make sure you got all your stuff ready to go the night before. So anyway, those are a couple tips on commuting. Make the decision, be prepared. I'll do a few of these, just giving my thoughts on different aspects of commuting, my thoughts on it. My hope is that maybe either some of my friends who commute, or some of people that'll watch that maybe I don't even know, that maybe commute, they can chime in with their ideas too, because I think there's definitely more than one way to commute by bike to get to work. I think it's a great way. I love it. I mean, this is a beautiful morning. It's amazing. Even on the cold or wet or hot days, it's still a great way to start the day. Get your blood flowing. Get outside, breathing fresh air. You know, right now, our city's mandated to wear masks because of COVID, and so it's nice to be able to get out here and breathe fresh air and be okay with that. And talking to you all this morning has also allowed me to not ride so hard this morning, so this has been kind of a nice relaxing ride for me this morning. I've quite enjoyed it. Just cruising. It's nice. Means I'll have to get my heart rate up on the way home a little bit, but that's all right. I'll worry about that then. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking, stop rambling, and more to come later. All right, see you.